Lexi Hull taken aback by Caitlin Clark gesture after big announcement. Lexi Hull has always exuded grace under pressure. The Indiana Fever guard, known for her resilience, determination, and quiet leadership, never expected her name to trend on social media because of Caitlin Clark, America's newest basketball sweetheart and arguably the most high-profile rookie in WNBA history. But as the world tuned in for what was expected to be Clark's latest post-announcement victory lap, what fans got instead was something far more human, far more touching, and something Lexi Hull never saw coming. The world of women's basketball has been buzzing since Caitlin Clark's blockbuster WNBA draft announcement. From college phenom to WNBA franchise cornerstone, Clark's leap into professional basketball has dominated headlines across the sports world. But in the middle of all that noise, with press conferences, red carpet events, and endorsement deals being juggled left and right, Caitlin made a gesture that caught everyone, including Lexi Hull, completely off guard. This was not a story about competition. It was a story about camaraderie, sisterhood, and mutual respect. What Caitlin did next shattered the usual narratives. She broke the stereotype of rookies keeping their heads down or veteran players holding their distance. And in doing so, she not only elevated Lexi Hull's name but also reminded the world of what sportsmanship looks like at its purest. Caitlin Clark's big announcement had barely cooled off before she was already being swarmed by media outlets. Reporters wanted everything: exclusive soundbites, her thoughts on joining the Fever, her opinions on the league, even her favorite moment in college. But when asked about her expectations moving into a roster already stacked with promising talent, Caitlin didn't hesitate. She brought up Lexi Hull. It wasn't just a name drop. It was intentional. It was heartfelt. And it left Hull visibly emotional. In a time when social media often fuels comparison and competition among players, especially women, Clark's approach felt different. She acknowledged Hull not as an afterthought, but as a cornerstone of the Fever team she was about to join. She praised Lexi's work ethic, her poise under pressure, and the impact she had on the team's chemistry during her time there. And she did it with such sincerity that fans couldn't help but rewind the video and watch again. Lexi Hull had no idea the gesture was coming. She wasn't in the loop. She hadn't received a heads-up text or call. She was simply watching the press conference highlights at home like any other teammate would. But the moment Clark said her name with such warmth, Hull's jaw dropped. She clutched her phone and stared at the screen in disbelief. In that moment, all of Lexi's years of grind, from her Stanford days to her efforts to cement her spot on the Fever roster, felt seen. It wasn't just validation from a peer, it was recognition from one of the sport's most talked about rising stars. And it was public. Powerful. Poignant. Lexi took to her Instagram story shortly after, reposting a clip of Clark's words with a simple caption, "Did not expect this. Feeling all the gratitude right now." She added a heart emoji and tagged Caitlin. What followed was an outpouring of fan love. Fever fans and casual followers flooded Hull's DMs and comments with support, celebrating not only Clark's kindness but also Lexi's understated role in building the team's chemistry ahead of this promising new chapter. This wasn't just a small, feel-good moment. It was emblematic of something bigger happening in the WNBA. The league is no longer about individual stardom alone. It's about relationships, storytelling, and breaking the mold. The Caitlin Clark-Lexi Hull dynamic is proof of that. Behind the scenes, insiders revealed that Clark had been keeping a close eye on the Fever roster even before she declared for the draft. One source close to the rookie said, Caitlin admired Lexi's defensive hustle and the way she handled pressure on and off the court. It wasn't just about stats, it was about presence. Caitlin respected that. That same source added that Caitlin had even studied Fever games during the off-season and was quietly forming an idea of how she could best integrate without disrupting the existing dynamics. For Hull, who's been on the grind without the constant fanfare others receive, the shout-out was more than kind, it was empowering. It reminded fans and even teammates that contribution isn't always loud. It doesn't always come with highlight reels. Sometimes, it's in the glue that holds a locker room together. The encouragement that doesn't make it on ESPN. The screens, the hustle plays, the quiet leadership. Hull's reaction to Caitlin's public acknowledgement wasn't about seeking the spotlight. If anything, it reaffirmed how much she values the little things, the unseen work,